Welcome everyone. Excuses for being late. We were having some technical problems. We're gonna wait a minute for everyone to be on the webinar, and then we will start. Welcome everyone. Good morning and good afternoon for everyone in South Africa. Welcome to the webinar Connecting Panama, South Africa, Opportunities in Agro-Logistics. My name is Oscar Fuentes and I'm an investment promoter at Pro Panama, and I will be serving you as the moderator today. We will start today's presentation with the welcoming remarks of our ambassador Jorge Silen, but I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for being with us this morning. I know that we have been in a rough couple of years, months, and we believe that this type of event can help us have a better economic growth between countries, especially Panama and South Africa that we are talking here. So we will start, as I said, with the opening welcoming remark by the Ambassador Jorge Silen. Ambassador Jorge Silen holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Agricultural Economics and Agricultural Business from New Mexico State University, which he attended in Las Cruces, New Mexico, USA. He's an MBA candidate from Inca Business School. He has done a mixed distance learning and in person, and will be concluding the program in the beginning of July 2022. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Oscar. I would like to first thank you everyone for being here and attending this first webinar of what we hope will be the first of many. To our distinguished guests, Honorable Diego Ortiz de Ceballo, the Deputy General Administrator of Pro Panama, Mr. Jose Manuel Meana, Advisor to the Minister of Agricultural Development of Panama, Ms. Amber Ruiz, General Director of Freezones of Panama at the Ministry of Commerce and Industries, Ms. Palesa Fili, CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bernadette Ziller, CEO of the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Mr. Rolando Alvarez, former President of Panamanian Association of Cargo Agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this first webinar, Connecting Panama and South Africa, a joint effort between the distinct chambers of commerce and Panama, of South Africa and Panama, Pro Panama, and the Embassy of Panama to bring you to this platform that will help increase the connections between our countries and foster international trade and investment. It is also important to mention that we are constantly engaging with the South African and Panama Chamber of Commerce and Industries, which we strongly believe that is the best channel to promote and connect trade between both nations, and has the honor to have as board members two previous ambassadors of Panama to South Africa, Ambassador Roberto Cordobés and Ambassador Rodrigo Chiari. Since 1995, Panama established diplomatic relations with South Africa, and since then, efforts have been made to strengthen commercial relations between the two countries. And in this webinar, we will present you to new business opportunities between our countries to incorporate new sectors in our endeavors and strengthen their ties of friendship. Panama is the destination that offers many facilities to South Africans, and this has allowed them to build a strong presence of them in Panama, with more than 1,000 South Africans currently residing there. Their small community of South Africans in Panama has already incorporated many customs and items which are very typical in their culture, such as rooibos tea, biltong, and other South African products into the Panamanian market. The post-pandemic world economic situation called us to make efforts and seek new opportunities, and this webinar is presented to you as a platform for new connections and opportunities. As we said, we hope this webinar will be the first of many to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for that welcoming remarks. Now we're going to have the presentation about the general panorama of Panama from our Deputy Director of Panama, Diego Ortiz de Ceballo.
Good morning. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. First, on behalf of ProPanama and the government of the Republic of Panama, I would like to extend my gratitude to His Excellency Ambassador Jorge Ricardo Silen and his team for all the wonderful job they have made on assisting in the planning of this event. Also, we would like to thank the team of the Panama Chamber of Commerce, Rolando Alvarez and Luciana Steve, for their contributions to making this webinar possible. Last but not least, I would like to thank our national keynote speakers, Jose Manuel Meana from the Ministry of Agricultural Development, Ambar Ruiz, who sent us a video from the Ministry of Commerce, and our international keynote speakers, Bernadette Siller, CEO of the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce, and Palesa Phil, CEO of Durban Chamber of Commerce. Without your contribution, this event wouldn't be possible. Panama is a small, dynamic country located in the center of the American continent. Our country is warm, receptive to people, and open to receive all investors who want to launch their products and services. Thanks to its competitive advantages and incentives, the following video should give you an idea of Panama's spirit, vitality, and potential. ProPanama is the National Investment and Export Promotion Authority of the Republic of Panama. We coordinate efforts with the institutions represented by our board of directors, the private sector, and our diplomatic offices around the world to promote our diverse export products and services in international markets, as well as attract sustainable investment with social impact that transfer knowledge and technology to our people, and thus improve the quality of life of all Panamanians. As a small country, historically dedicated to services, our country is known for its canal and as a logistical center. Panama has more than halfway recovered its pre-pandemic GDP per capita, now at $14,664, $2,000 more before the pandemic hit. And we grew our GDP about around 50.3% last year. The Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean projects it will lead the region in 2022 with a growth around 6.3%. Every time we make presentations about Panama, we always ask why it has to be Panama. What is the difference between Panama and other countries around us seeking investment? Panama has a series of characteristics that make us unique, all concentrated in a small place, a combination of features that make us ideal for your business. Thanks to its geographical advantages, Panama is a foundational element of world commerce due to how it connects the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans, thus offering a short and cost-effective transit route for world trade. But that is not all. Other countries can also say they have a convenient location, proximity to the Panama Canal, and use the US currency as money. But they also free from natural disaster, possess a good business climate, safety, and quality of life. Panama has been a democratic country for over 30 years, and according to the Democratic Index, is in the same category as the United States. Panama also has a robust and renowned financial banking center, which support activities that are also carried out in the logistics sectors and in the research and development fields in our country. It can be said that the combination of all these features make us a special place in our region. We know that we are a relatively small country. We have a market of only 4.2 million inhabitants. But we are open to the world through the free trade agreements, of which we have 23 so far, with 59 countries and with access to around 1.5 billion potential customers of products and services originated in Panama. This makes us and our hinterland vast and open to markets within the American region and beyond. Panama trade agreements regulate and remove tariffs and remove barriers to services, including financial services. It also includes important agreements relating to customs administrations and trade facilitation, technical barriers to trade, government procurement, investment, telecommunication, electronic commerce, intellectual property rights, and labor and environmental protection. We are aiming to be a prosperous, inclusive, equitable, digital, and sustainable country. We are leaders in sustainability because of our infrastructure and natural resources. 32% of Panama landmass and now 30% of its marine areas are protected. 65.4% of Panama territory is made up of forest and other woodlands, making us a true living lab. The Panama Canal is calculated to have saved more than 650 million tons of CO2 emissions during its 107-year operation. Panama has microclimates that are perfect for some of the most exquisite and unique products in the world, such as its geisha coffee, spring water, and sweet pineapple. Our history of natural and cultural conservation efforts starts with the establishment of what is known the Gunayala Comarca in 1925. Conservation is a way of life in Panama. The areas around the canal basin have been protected for more than 100 years, and the Smithsonian Institute has been studying Panama extraordinary biodiversity since 1923. Panama is a global champion for the high-level dialogue on energy and had been praised by the United Nations for its energy transition strategy. Also, we are home of the largest wind farm in Central America and the Caribbean, and now more than 70% of our energy matrix comes from renewable energies. We strongly believe the future starts with us, and here are a few reasons why. Panama is a member of the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. Panama expands the Coiba Cordillera in the Pacific, comprised of 67,742 square kilometers, thus raising the protection of its marine areas to 30%, the second Latin American country to achieve this within the framework of the United Nations 30 by 30 initiative. Panama also is part of the Convention on Biological Diversity, along with 196 other countries to promote conservation, and will host next year the biggest conference of conserving the ocean, is our ocean conference in 2023. We have created incentives for sustainable energy such as solar, hydropower, and biofuel. Panama has strict laws governing environmental impact of construction and infrastructure projects on its territory. Mining and other developments on protected lands are highly regulated. Panama also has the most modern and successful international banking center in Latin America, with 67 banks in operation and 22 countries with banks in Panama possessing general, international, and representative office licenses. Panama banking systems allows the investors to obtain credit with a very low interest rates and offers a modern and technologically advanced banking system. World-class logistic isn't a catchphrase, it's part of our culture. And it has been for more than 100 years before a canal was even through up. Approximately 6% of the world trade passed through the Panama Canal. 474.5 million tons of cargo and more than 30,000 transits passed through the water route in 2020. We are home to 5 of the 10 main ports in the region. Cargo be sent and received directly through Panama to 152 ports and 54 countries around the world. First-class infrastructure and outstanding logistic assets define Panama as the quintessential center for regional and global logistics and distribution. We possess a world-class infrastructure port in both oceans, 3 in the Atlantic Ocean and 2 in the Pacific. Colón, located in the Atlantic, is the largest port city in Latin America. And in regards to flights from Panama, you can reach 90 destinations in 39 countries from Tocumen International Airport. Under Panama's multinational headquarter regime alone, Panama has attracted more than 180 companies to open offices here. And those are only some of many that trust Panama with their investment. Today, more than ever, supply chains are being put to test because consumers demand products faster and more cheaply. That is why it is essential to provide your supply chain with a safe, efficient, and central locations to conduct manufacturing and logistic activities. Leaders need to find ways to make their business work better and give themselves an advantage. Regionalizing manufacturing and logistics in countries that provide safe, efficient, and central location is the way to proceed to have resilient supply chains, reduce the time products take to reach their markets, and at the same time, reducing transport costs. Companies that adopt this strategy will be better positioned to growth and reduce the risk from future disruptions. We are well on our way to become a digital hub in the heart of the Americas, thanks to the connectivity we just mentioned. In Panama, there are 8 continental fiber optic cables located with unlimited connectivity, offering similar connectivity you will find in London and New York, allowing technology-intensive companies to develop their products and services from here at a lower cost. Panama has brought up also a personal data protection law in effect in 2021 to protect the information on servers located here. We understand that the future is digital, and we are ensuring that Panama continues to grow to meet the challenge. We are developing our digital clusters through physical and legal infrastructures such as the ones I mentioned, along with fostering a highly capable workforce, research institutions, collaborations with the world's best and most innovative and favorable climate for your business. Taking advantage of this favorable business environment, here is a snapshot of companies established locally in Panama in the digital sphere, along with some of the many business activities they have established here, taking advantage of our connectivity and infrastructure to take their enterprise, to bring to their enterprises a better success. Recently, we have approved the AgroPark law, helping us strengthen the agricultural sector to turn Panama into a hub for food production and distribution and take advantage of our weather stability and logistical assets into a benefit for our economic in the interior and for regional food safety. Panama at this moment has more than 50 special regimes and laws in effect, which provide tax, migratory, and other incentives for different economic activities such as film, sports, forestry, research and development, education, and the list goes on. The best known so far is the law of multinational companies headquarters, MHQ or SEM in Spanish, SEM, that has allowed more than 180 multinational companies, a great number of which you would probably recognize, to develop headquarters related and internal service from our country with tax, labor, and immigration incentives. Now, we have expanded this law through the new regime known as EMA or MSM that promotes manufacturing, repair, and refitting activities for multinationals in our country with very interesting incentives so that they can take advantage of our world-class logistics to access markets around the world. Here are other 2 special zones and investment regimes that I am sure would be of interest to you. The City of Knowledge is a special economic zone that hosts an international community of academic organizations, technology companies, innovative startups, and non-governmental organizations focused on serving as a knowledge platform boosting innovative and competitive capacities of its community. Sectors and business activities are biological science and technology, product R&D and innovation, education and human development, creative industries. Similarly, Panama Pacifico is a special economic zone in the Pacific area that serves as a hub for high-tech manufacturing, logistics services, commercial activities, and non-traditional services, with an eco-friendly and residential area containing dedicated areas for warehousing and distribution centers, manufacturing, commercial offices, airport operations, and, as I mentioned, residential areas. Sectors and businesses activities of this area are logistics services, electronic processing, manufacturing, aviation and maritime services, headquarters and services for business. We are innovating other ways to invest in our country. Panama has a new program for those interested in making a private investment in our country and thus gain at the same time permanent residency. Should you wish to make qualified real estate, stock market, or bank deposit investment in Panama, you can take advantage of our country's stability, safety, and excellent quality of life and call it your home. Applications are processed within 30 business days, and obtaining a qualified investor license or migratory status can be done remotely from start to finish from all the diplomatic offices around the world. To conclude, I would like to let the investors themselves share what their experience have been like in Panama.
Its doors in Panama in 2003 as a customer contact center, representing the first operation of the company to America. We decided to establish in the country due to its economic and political stability, security, strategic.
Sorry, Diego, the volume is low.
Highly qualified. Allowing us to help our customers.
Do you hear that? The present.
No, we cannot hear.
¿Se escucha?
At Liberty Latin America,
No.
we're excited about the future with the heart of our operations in Panama. We have proudly been involved in the Panamanian market for many years. And we have seen the nation evolve into a digital hub for Latin America. I look forward to continuing this productive partnership as we seek to connect the unconnected and bring further growth and development for both our company and the nation of Panama.
Hello, my name is David Taylor, and I serve as the Chairman, President, and CEO of the Procter & Gamble Company. Today, Panama hosts our Latin American headquarters and also serves as our Central American and Caribbean markets headquarters, in addition to other distributor-based operations. Critical strategic decisions that impact our entire operations in Latin America are made in Panama, which hosts the largest number of P&G.
Diego, can you adjust the volume?
In Panama, we have found a business-friendly environment and we're able to work successfully.
You cannot hear anything. No sound yet. Nothing.
MasterCard, we continue to find new ways to live up to our commitment to
Can you
an
restart it?
inclusive and sustainable economy.
Stores in Panama in 2003 as a customer contact center, representing the first operation of the company in Central America. We decided to establish in the country due to its economic and political stability, security, strategic geographic location, and availability of highly qualified professionals. Our operation in Panama has been noteworthy for the growth of the company's business in Latin America, allowing us to help our customers and partners to develop and transform their businesses.
Hello. At Liberty Latin America, we're excited about the future with the heart of our operations in Panama. We have proudly been involved in the Panamanian market for many years. And we have seen the nation evolve into a digital hub for Latin America. I look forward to continuing this productive partnership as we seek to connect the unconnected and bring further growth and development for both our company and the nation of Panama.
Hello, my name is David Taylor, and I serve as the Chairman, President, and CEO of the Procter & Gamble Company. Today, Panama hosts our Latin American headquarters and also serves as our Central American and Caribbean markets headquarters, in addition to other distributor-based operations. Critical strategic decisions that impact our entire operations in Latin America are made in Panama, which hosts the largest number of P&G senior executives in the region. In Panama, we have found a business-friendly environment, and we're able to work successfully and very closely with 4 different Panamanian government administrations. We are thankful to Panama and its people for hosting us for the past 11 years, and we look forward to many more years together.
In Panama, our partnership has a few specific goals clearly aligned to the digital hub strategy of the national government. Financial inclusion remains job number 1. We'll be implementing payment technologies across the public sector to support this and Panama's digital transformation process. Now more than ever, financially excluded populations need our help. Last year, we doubled down on financial inclusion and committed to bring 1 billion people, 50 million small businesses, and 25 million women-run businesses into the digital economy. At MasterCard, we continue to find new ways to live up to our commitment to rebuilding a more inclusive and sustainable economy that opens up opportunities, not divides. Without question, this agreement strengthens the collaboration between the government of Panama and MasterCard to put the digital hub strategy into action.
Hello, my name is Andres Kluski. I'm the CEO and president of the AS Corporation. We are one of the largest developers and operators of renewable energy in the world. In Panama, we have been operating for 20 years and have had a very good experience in Panama. So in the case of Panama, we are creating an energy hub to supply energy not only to the electric sector, but other sectors as well. So that includes industries, that includes transportation. And we found a very supportive environment in Panama. So I invite all of you to consider Panama as a destination for your investments.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that the information I have shared today is interesting and useful for all of you. From ProPanama, we reiterate our commitment to support those who are interested in investing in our country or learning more about Panama's exciting and unique export products. Thank you very much again, and thanks for the invitation.
Thank you, Diego, for that wonderful presentation. Now we will have the presentation from Rolando Alvarez. Rolando has more than 10 years of experience in union life and 30 years in logistic management. He's the president of Cargo Logistics, president of the Council of former president of Union of Panama, former president of the Panama Association of Cargo Agency, and a lot of other agencies that work in the logistics sector in Panama. Rolando, please share us your presentation.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, good evening. Ambassador Seelan, thank you for the invitation, members of the South African and Panamanian Chamber of Commerce. I'm glad we just saw these CEOs' comments regarding how the success they have gotten on doing business in Panama. Let's see how we can exchange some ideas for the opportunities in logistics we can have for you guys in Panama. Let's start with direct to the presentation. Why Panama is a good option to do business in the Western Hemisphere. We will try to do our presentation based on this question. Well, I will present some assets we have in Panama. And one of the main assets we have is our people. Also the LPI, which we were going to talk a little bit, geographical position and connectivity, the Panama Canal, multimodal logistics hub, free zones and special free zone trades, and international trade agreements. Some of them already Diego has mentioned. But let's start with our people. People make stability in their countries. In that way, people from South Africa and Panama have many similarities. I was in South Africa in 2018 for the FIATA World Congress held in Cape Town, the main event in the multimodal logistics sector. By the way, in 2024, we will have the FIATA World Congress in Panama. It would be a pleasure to have all of you here. And I had the best memories from the way I was attended and the kind of service we all received during our stay in Cape Town. That is the same way how people act in Panama. We have a good, stable government which handles a stable country. On the other hand, a good part of our worker population speaks English as a second language, which helps on developing good communication with investors. Knowledge in logistics is one of our main tools as a country. Private and public sector of our country established a goal in our National Logistics Strategy 2030, where government logistics cabinet with all their technological departments and custom authorities, together with the Logistic Private Council, which holds all the main federations from the private sector, where the Chamber of Commerce plays an important role, where day by day, different players from both sectors practice the best options to develop a good environment in the logistics sector. For me, it is important to mention this because when we see a country which invests on better practices in everything they do, it will bring better chances for safer investments. Let's go now to the LPI conditions. The World Bank works every 2 years, a ranking where 160 countries are measured on their logistics environment, focus on customs, infrastructure, internal shipments, logistics competence, tracking and tracing, and timeliness. I would like to mention what I see in our country as the logistics hardware, which is all logistics physical infrastructure we have. We have 5 international ports and 1 more building in 16 months, 6 international airports, 23 free zones, a real strong banking system, railroad, highways, the canal, and many other things. On the other hand is the logistic software, which I will call all the experience and knowledge technology that involve the complete cluster, including one of the well-integrated national customs system, one of the best of the region. For example, one of the 5 humanitarian hubs in the world is based in Panama to support any disaster in our region. Let's see this image on the screen. I just want to mention the LPI position or ranking for South Africa and Panama. In this case, we are very close or very similar in what we are doing on developing our best practices in logistics. This is an opportunity we have because when we do business with people or with companies or with countries with same characteristics, in this case in logistics, we have a better communication between us. I think even South Africa, just Johannesburg has more than 8 million people. Panama is 4.5 million people. But the similarities we have in the logistics performance index help us to get a better communication between countries. What are some of the advantage of working on this LPI as we are doing? For every 10% increase in the LPI of a typical exporter, bilateral exports increase by almost 70%. And for every 10% increase in the LPI of a typical importer, bilateral imports increase by 54%. Now let's talk about the geographical position and connectivity. Panama is the narrowest portion of land in America, and that is why the canal was built here. Thanks God, we do not have big storms, earthquakes, and that kind of natural disasters. Another gift in our geographical position. And let's see now what are some of the advantages of these assets. The Panama Canal is the cornerstone of our logistics platform, administrated by Panamanians since year 2000. It is important not only for Panama, but for all international trade sectors. Briefly, we move through the canal more than 13,000 vessels per year, connecting more than 1,900 different ports in 170 countries. The logistic hub and platform that we have, in this case, for this image, you can see how we can transport from Panama to the range in the region by ocean from 1 day to 7 days. We can transport cargo or merchandise from our ports to these different countries in this range of days. By air, we can transport from 1 hour to 7 hours from Panama to any other of these countries in the region. And by land, we can transport from Panama to any country in the Central American area from 1 day to 7 days. This is something that makes the geographical position and our logistics very interesting. The Tocumen International Airport is the first in Latin and the Caribbean for efficiency of air transport service, with more than 25 airlines operating. And in the sea market, Panama is ranked #1 in the liner shipping connectivity index among Latin American and Caribbean, based on Untitled information. And also #1 in efficiency of seaports services among Latin America and the Caribbean. And our Atlantic port cluster is ranked #1 in Latin America. I don't want to say we are the best. This is not the way we act, we behave. But it is important to work with people that is trying to be in the first positions. And that's what we are trying to offer. This is the main cluster that we have. The canal, all the infrastructures we have in the Panama, we can move from the Pacific side to the Atlantic side in just 1 hour. Everything is closed in Panama. The airport is closed to the ports. The free zones are close to the airports. That means we can be very efficient on time and make your operations and your logistics profitable in less time, okay? Let's see about the free zone and special trade zones. Already, Diego has mentioned many things about it. Panama has different investments regimes, all with fiscal, migratory, and labor incentives and benefits for the establishment of local and foreign companies. To ensure the safe trade of the commercial operations, renowned companies in the logistics sector are already certified as BASC, OAS, and ISO 28000, making Panama a safe hub. This offers an easy access to Latin American market for over 650 million people, and more than 170 multinational headquarters companies are established here from more than 33 countries. The free international trade agreements, we have more than 23 free trade international agreements, which Ministry of Commerce, Pro-Panama, and Chamber of Commerce will be delighted to explain to you in the near future. Let me just show you these figures from what is at this moment today, the ocean freight cost from Panama to South Africa and from South Africa to Panama for containers, 20-foot containers or 40-foot containers. And these are very interesting figures, because when we see rates and ocean freight rates from 4,600 and 3,100 exchanging routes, this is very interesting, because from some Asian ports at this moment, rates are up to $12,000. So if we compare these, this is an opportunity to see on the exchange of investments between our countries. Transit time is a little bit longer, but we can handle that. And as we mentioned in the LPI, we have very similarities and we are all working together to be better in the logistics sector. Let me just make some conclusions for the benefits of Panama as your logistics hub. The logistic connectivity, the legal stability, the quality of life, dollarized economy, a strategic geographical position, currency stability, and the well-trained people in logistics. Thank you very much for letting me share this information with you, and it would be a pleasure to have some questions whenever you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rolando, for that wonderful presentation. Up next, we're going to have the presentation from the Ministry of Agricultural Development about the opportunities in agro by Jose Manuel Meana. Jose Manuel Meana holds a law and political science degree from the University of Panama, a business and corporate law master's degree from Universidad Interamericana, and is the current legal advisor of the Vice Minister of Agricultural Development.
Good morning. Good morning and good afternoon for those in the beautiful South Africa. I would like to take this opportunity to Honorable Ambassador Jorge Ricardo Silén and send my regards to Mr. Diego Ortiz de Ceballos, Deputy General Administrator of Panama, Mrs. Palesa Fili, CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mrs. Bernadette Sealer, CEO of Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Mr. Rolando Alvarez, former president of Panamanian Association of Cargo Agencies. Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Manuel Meana, and today, on behalf of the Panamanian Agriculture Ministry, I have the distinct pleasure of presenting you the special regime for the establishment of operating companies and developers of agroparks, which was briefly mentioned by Mr. Diego Ortiz. This presentation is relevant for those of you who are interested in establishing and operating agroparks in the Republic of Panama, a promising activity that will boost our country economy and represent huge business opportunities for international investors. We will overview and address most of the relevant aspects about the agroparks law, including concepts, structure, benefits, and goals. This law promotes the generation of development poles through agroparks that will be established in rural areas of the country, boosting the economy, generating jobs and social welfare. It also encouraged private investment with national and international development companies with proven experience in these production models, who will advise producers, agro-entrepreneurs, and agro-industrialists, making high-end technology, financing, opening markets, production techniques, transformation, processing, and recycling. It encouraged the generation of agribusinesses through the formation of value chains based on national raw materials, and promotes agro-foods, agro-industrial, and related services production, as well as industry related to the forestry sector, seafood, and raw materials from agriculture and the pharmaceutical industry. It also established associative mechanism among all the economic agents that make up the value chain, including producers, agribusinesses, agro-industries, services, and input providers, among others, and facilitate business relation between them. Talking about concepts, an agroparks are consolidated physical spaces where economic agents of value chains converge to increase productivity. They work as commercial catalysts, facilitating all aspects of agriculture business operation. Conglomerates or cluster are association of producers, input suppliers, interconnected services, and raw material transformation in a particular area outside the agro-park, but linked to it. About the goals, we can say that agro-parks look forward to achieve specific goals, which are the following. First, establish associative mechanism among all participants. Two, identify promoters with the capability to create markets to generate an exportable supply. Three, comply with sanitary and environmental standards to ensure safety, security, and traceability. Four, guaranteed and modernize the procedures and permits to operate here in Panama. Five, promote investment for supportive infrastructure. By achieving these goals, the agro-park structures provide an innovative top-class business platform in favor of sanitary and environmental safety, working with external conglomerates or clusters with various tax benefits as well. The agro-park structures are inclusive, taking into account the trends of national and international markets where the Panamanian producer is part of the productive value chain, increasing agriculture and livestock sector participation in the economy. The agro-park structures are expected to cover all areas of our country geography, including the Western region, the Central region, West Panama, and the Eastern region. With this wide geographical distribution, we expect to generate growth poles in each region of the country where an agro-park is installed, unlocking and exploiting our country agricultural resources on the most effective and efficient manner, building a solid and steady economic development for the next years. Sectors that will be involved include agriculture, livestock, aquaculture, and forestry. Some of the main harvest crops in our country are rice, wheat, corn, coffee, avocado, pineapple, watermelon, cocoa, of course, coffee, and many others. The beneficiaries of the agro-park platforms will include domestic producers engaged in the production of raw materials, agricultural, livestock, aquaculture, and forestry companies, research and development companies linked to agriculture or agro-industrial activities, Panamanian product processing and transformation companies. Producers will receive technical assistance in marketing from the developers in order to comply with the International Global Gap certification standards. Agro-parks will be provided with top-level technical assistance in both marketing and agriculture technology and innovation, promoting and developing the production of domestic raw materials from processing and sale in domestic and foreign markets. Markets are identified prior to planting in terms of volume, quality, and season. The promotion and marketing will be support with the Panama Exporta program from the Commerce Ministry and Pro-Panama programs. Talking about the licenses, we have to say that the licenses from operators and developers of agro-parks will be granted for an indefinite period of time, except for those to be developed in areas belonging to the state, whose duration will be equal to the concession granted. Companies that obtain a license will automatically enjoy legal stability of their investment, for which they must present and invest a plan greater than $2 million, which must be complete within 3 years from the issuance of the license. Some of the requirements needed to obtain a license are: first, a formal request; two, certification of good standing; three, and the most important, is the investment plan that includes location, description of the activities to develop, technological proposal to support in the improvement of the productive processes, and the amount of the projected investment, which must be greater than $2 million and must be complete in a term not greater than 3 years from the date of the issuance of the license. Also, Also, as a requirement, you should send a letter of intent to establish in an agro-park zone, the proof of financial solvency, and documentation that prove that the applicant has experience in international commercialization. Talking about benefits, the tax profits, the companies under license of operating companies and developers of agro-parks will enjoy exemptions from any contribution, rate, lien, and import duty on construction materials, equipment, machinery, and the necessary furniture, as well as the property tax on commercial and industrial improvement. They will pay income tax at a reduced rate of 50% for 5 years. Also, 3% profit as an import tax on raw materials and inputs required for production activities. A reduced CAIR rate to 50% for 5 years. Tax exemption for 5 years from any contribution, tax, levy, or import tariff on construction materials, equipment, machinery, vehicles, and furniture. Exemptions from real estate tax on commercial and industrial improvement for 20 years. Also, fees for losses suffered by the companies during the first 2 fiscal periods as from the beginning of activities. They are deductible in the following 5 fiscal periods at a rate of 20% per year. The impacts we will try to achieve from the next 10 years are that we expect to generate all sort of economical growth wherever they are installed. We expect generating 100,000 direct jobs at a rate of 5 jobs per hectare. It's expected to incorporate 20,000 hectares with an investment of $700 million, generating an economy of 1,000 million per year. As a subsequent impact, we expect the reduction of poverty and migratory flows to the country urban center. In conclusion, agro-parks represent a huge investment opportunity for those companies who are interested on establishing profitable projects on the Republic of Panama regarding agriculture. Our country is full of potential on many of the most demanded crops around the globe, including corn, rice, wheat, coffee, avocado, cocoa, pineapple, and many others. With enforcement of this law, the government creates an easy pathway to facilitate the establishment of those companies which comply with the requirements. The cooperation between this company and our local producers will produce the best possible outcomes regarding productivity and ensure that we make the most of our land. Agro-parks are a big step towards innovative development, creating opportunities for investors, local and foreign workers who will greatly benefit from lots of job opportunities. Our country's food safety will also benefit from these agro-parks, ensuring food generation and stability, business competitiveness, and raise of our internal products. Again, on behalf of the Ministry of Agricultural Development and the Republic of Panama, I would like to thank you all. It's been a great pleasure to be one of the speakers of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose Manuel, for that wonderful presentation about the benefits of investing in Panama and agri-parks. Now we will have a video left by Amber Ruiz, or Freezone director. Amber Ruiz is a lawyer with 16 years of experience in the commercial field, graduated with academic honors at the University of Panama, diplomat accredited by the Kingdom of Spain, diploma in international relationships from Universidad Rey Juan Carlos, and in public-private partnerships from CAF. She's the current director of Panama Free Zones and member of the board of directors in the Free Zones Association of the Americas.
I want to present the opportunities offered by the Freezone of the best connected country in Latin America. Today, international trade demands a great display of ideas, activities, and connections to emerge stronger from the global crisis. Market disruption has produced a change to be more efficient or sometimes simply to be able to supply their input needs to produce and satisfy customer demands. This is the time to take advantage of the fact that as a result of the global situation, many companies are going to diversify their supply chains. That represents the movement of the $70 million, the generation of 2 million jobs, and the construction of 40 million square meters of warehouse on this side of the planet. Nearshoring implies bringing the physical headquarters of the company closer to the suppliers and customers. Friendshoring, doing business between friendly countries, is another current trend. Panama is a strategic point for this because it has 23 free trade agreements that affects 60 countries with which we have preferential treatment agreements. In this sense, Panama do its multimodal logistic platform and many aspects that we excel as the hub of hubs is a great competitor due to our proximity to the rest of the Latin America countries, having similar time zone, cultural, and language affinity, the dollar as legal tender, etc. It is a country that connects 1,920 ports through 180 maritime routes, which 117 countries prefer to use because it's safer and more efficient. By year, Panama is more than 132,000 direct flights to 19 destinations in 38 countries, with the best connected international airport in Latin America to the main cities of the world. It's worth noting that Panama is the first country in America to have a regional logistics center of humanitarian assistance, which, by the way, is going to expand and will require supplies and specialized logistics operators by item. Reason and in general, because it has the best investment climate in the region. Mauricio Kleber Caron, president of the Inter-American Development Bank, said, "I trust in Panama, I bet in Panama." Last year, despite the pandemic, was the best in the history of the Freezone regime. $142.8 million was exported from our active free zone nationwide and create more free zone in 1 year than 10 of the past government fused. $57.4 million in direct investment were attracted. We expect to overcome this year the historical achievement of the last one. In the following slides, we show you in detail what the incentives that the Panama Freezone regimes entail consist of. Establishing yourself in a free zone in Panama is, for all that I have explained, an opportunity and a logistical level has the legal stability of your investment to be more competitive thanks to the migratory labor and tax incentives. In short, to be more efficient thanks to the agility of the custom processes, the integration of the different public institutions within each free zone, and comparatively, in the case of the companies, we have reduced proceedings times from 6 months as occurring in the country's neighbor to 10 to 30 days, and is free in terms of the administrative fees. Migration incentive. Work incentive. Tax incentive. An indicative brief list of the what service can be used in Panama, I present them below only as example, since they may be others. Third-party logistics, warehouse management system, consolidation, palletizing, picking, transportation, cross-docking, pack and repack, labeling, stamping, and others. Now, you can see a practical exercise of how long it could be take to move cargo from Long Beach and how long from Panama. There are 18 days of saving from our country due several factors, among them that there is no port congestion. There are many reasons to use the multimodal platform that we already have created in Panama. I would like to highlight that it improves the competitiveness. In agribusiness, we have new free zones that are clusters of liquor, food, etc., that create jobs in marginalized places and transforms life. For example, Panama Free Zone, Las Cabras Free Zone, and Aristos Free Zone. Thank you very much for your attention.
That is the presentation from Amber Rees from the Free Zones Direction in the Ministry of Commerce. Now we will have a presentation from Bernadette Sealer, CEO of the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce. Bernadette is a professional in the medical industry for 30 years and ran her own business, 20 years distributing medicals and laboratory equipment into Africa. Bernadette joined Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry in 2006, looking for expansion plan for her business. She participated in a program, Access for Women, at the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, sponsored by the International Trade Center and the Canadian government. In 2017, Bernadette was offered the position of Head of International Trade at the Johannesburg Chambers of Commerce. And in December of 2020, Bernadette was promoted to be the CEO. Bernadette, please share with us your presentation.
Good afternoon. I'd like to bid a great welcome to all distinguished guests and to all participants. It's really a great honor to be participating in this event today. I'd just like to give you a brief background on the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And also before I do, just like to mention that JCCI has formed a strong partnership and collaboration with Panama, and we're working very close. We've had an event previously as well, and we really enjoy a strong partnership. And thank you for the opportunity today to share. The Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the first chamber was founded in Marseille in 1599 when traders banded together to establish policies to govern trade and a platform to facilitate trade. Today, in the International Chamber of Commerce, the ICC network, there are some 14,000 chambers worldwide. In some countries, membership is mandatory. In others, it is a voluntary subscription-based membership. JCCI is a member of ICC and participates in a number of its regulatory commissions. Thank you. The Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce was founded in 1890. The Chamber's international reputation for good governance and its ability to deliver results have made it the partner of choice for SME local and international development projects. Projects include the Flanders government, the Access for African Businesswomen in International Trade, funded by the International Trade Center UN agency, the Gauteng Plato SME project in partnership with the VOCA East Flanders Chamber of Commerce and the Gauteng government, Encuentro GmbH, City of Johannesburg Economic Development Unit, several global export accelerator projects, and Women in Business project with the German government, GIZ. Thank you. JCCI also, we focus a lot on promoting and facilitating international trade. We have a department where we have staff of about 8 to 9 staff, where we actually run the international trade desk, and we host 2 to 3 international events every month where we will invite the High Commissioner or the ambassador to give an overview of the bilateral trade opportunities in their country. And then we will have a logistics company, we will have a financial institution talking through the trading cycle. And then we will invite 1 or 2 companies that is trading in that country to give an overview on their success and also the opportunities and the challenges. So we really promote and facilitate international trade as well. JCCI, independent, non-political, subscription-based business association, dedicated to promoting and protecting business interests. As an impartial third party, it is able to act as a link between established business, the emerging sector, and government at all levels. JCCI is also part of the Association of South African Chambers, short ASAC, where all the large chambers in South Africa, the Durban Chamber, Johannesburg, Cape Town Chamber, the Pietermaritzburg Midlands, the Borderkai, Nelson Mandela, Middelburg, Ladysmith, and all the large chambers are part of this association, and collectively we look at issues in the domestic market and also international market. And the ASIC chambers, we issue more than 90% of certificates of origin in South Africa. So we really, the association is the largest organization of chambers in South Africa. And as I mentioned, we look at domestic and international issues. On domestic issues, we look at key issues like electricity, water, and infrastructure, what actually is very pertinent to businesses. So I'll just give you an example of some of the issues we've actually addressed recently. One of our associations, Eskom was going to increase the electricity by over 20%. So the ASIC Chamber Association, we engaged with with a specialist to look at this issue. He did a report, he compiled a report, he actually did quite a lot of study, and we lobbied with government. So instead of increasing the electricity by 22%, it was increased by 11%. So we look at key issues like that as well. And we're also looking at water, appointing a water regulator. We're looking at infrastructure. And then collectively as ASAC, we also look at international events, how we can access the international market for our members collectively as well. JCCI lobbies for or against legislation affecting business, provides information on business issues. So we really act as a platform or a connection where incoming delegations or embassies can contact us, and we will give them an overview on business issues, and we will support and advise them as well. JCCI supplies a range of business support services, connects businesses through networking. So we welcome incoming delegations from all different countries. We also arrange business-to-business meetings as well. Thank you. The next slide. Thank you. And this is just a structure of how JCCI is set up. We have the council, then we have our board of officers, our board, then we have our secretariat, and then the CEO's office, and then we have different divisions. We have our SME incubator, and we run several programs with the SME incubator with the German government through GIZ. We also run a woman in business desk, and we also run other trade councils as well. And then we've got an international trade department. Then we have training and membership. We look at all different topics that's relevant to businesses. We do import and export management, the POPI Act. So any issues that is relevant to business, we will run training workshops. We have our accounts department, and then we split into different regions. We have the Midrand region, the Sandton region, Southwest region, and the Eastern Johannesburg region. And all these regions has a chairperson, and they meet regularly on a bi-monthly basis, and they discuss any issues relevant to that region. And then we have different clusters. We have an agro-processing cluster. We have a creative industry cluster, then focusing on gaming animation, fashion, jewelry, crafts. So we have set up these different clusters where we have specialized trainers and mentors coming in and giving specialized training and support as well to our members and also to our SMEs. Then we have the Youth Commission, and then we have the property cluster. And our membership base, we have a membership of about 2,500 members, ranging from the large corporate companies to the medium size and the smaller SMEs. Next slide, thank you. Focus areas: international trade, training, events, information networking, services, payroll, credit reports, labor desk, B2B marketing, certificates of origin. As mentioned before, we're part of the Association of South African Chambers, and the ASIC chambers issue more than 90% of the certificates of origin nationally. Then we have Global Business Accelerator for SMEs. We have a women's business desk, women in business desk, and then JCCI, City of Johannesburg Council. There we're working closely with the City of Johannesburg, where we run a trade council and we use our incubator model. So we have the mentorship, export training. Then we do a feasibility study to identify suitable markets for the SMEs. And once that suitable markets are identified, we work very closely with the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. We identify the different trade missions and exhibitions, and we apply on behalf of our SMEs and our members to exhibit and showcase their products at these exhibitions and also trade missions. And then locally, we work very closely with the different local organizers like Cytex. In fact, we have Cytex next week, where different companies from all over globally will be exhibiting in Johannesburg. So we will also be having our SMEs exhibiting at Cytex, and then we work with Proudly SA Global Trade Show. So we work very closely with local and international organizers for our members and SMEs to showcase their products and also have an opportunity to exhibit their products as well. Thank you. Next slide. Thanks. Thank you so much. And then also just to mention that also in light of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, I know Durban Chamber is also going to be participating. So South Africa is a very key focus area as a base into the rest of Africa. So if companies or international companies are looking to set their base, to set their factory offices in South Africa, you can identify either Johannesburg or Durban. There are special economic zones, and you can set up your factory and your office there. And from there, you can reach out to the rest of Africa. So it's really South Africa is really a very important base, basically the gateway into Africa. So we'll encourage companies to look at South Africa as a point of investment and also trade. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernadette, for that wonderful presentations. Now to finish the presentation part of the webinar, Palesa Phil will give us a word. Palesa Phil has over 20 years experience in the information and communication technology and telecommunication sector, working for leading multinational companies with this sector. She has 10 years of experience in executive position within the sector, with other experience in board level positions within the manufacturing and incubation center. Her specialties range from strong operational experience to strategic growth and market penetration into various customer environments. She has worked for organizations such as Hewlett-Packard, IBM, and EMC Computers. Her most recent role was MTN SA, where she was the regional head of MTN business in restaurant. Palesa holds a master's in business administration degree from the University of Johannesburg and an advanced business management program certificate, and is a member of the CIMIT South African Institute of Directors and sits on various boards on the Smart Exchange and Evotech Incubator. She is the CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce. Palesa, welcome.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Ambassador of Panama in South Africa, Ambassador George Sillen, the Deputy General Administrator of Panama, Mr. Diego Ortiz Zevallos, the former President of APEC, Mr. Ronaldo Alvarez, the Vice Minister of the Ministry of Agricultural Development, Mr. Carlo Ranogni, Mr. Jose Miana, who just gave us a great presentation as well for the Ministry of Agriculture, and my sister and counterpart of the sister chamber here, Ms. Bernadette Zela, the CEO of the Johannesburg Chamber, to all the businesses both in Panama as well as in South Africa who have joined us this afternoon. Good afternoon for the South African businesses, and good morning to the businesses in Panama. It really gives us great pleasure. It gives me great pleasure to be addressing you today because in June 2021, we had a very fruitful meeting with the Panama ambassador when he visited Durban. And one of the key things that we said we're going to be doing is hosting a business-to-business meeting so that our businesses in Durban and businesses in Panama can be able to realize what kind of opportunities are available for both countries. So we're certainly very excited and really appreciate being invited to be part of this discussion today. I'll just briefly just chat to you and share with you who the Durban Chamber is and a little bit of our history. So the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we were founded in 1856. We are the second oldest chamber in Southern Africa. The oldest is Cape Town Chamber. You saw my colleague Bernadette was founded in 1890. So we're a couple of decades older than her. However, we're the largest metropolitan chamber in Southern Africa. We have just over 3,000 members. This consists of formal businesses, corporates, medium businesses, small, medium enterprises, as well as small, micro, medium enterprises. Over and above that, we're also representing about 54,000 informal businesses in and around our province and our city, so that they can also have opportunities and access to opportunities that are available throughout the mainstream economy. The Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry's strong points are policy and advocacy. I think Bernadette spoke that we are part of ASEC. However, we also do quite a lot of strong advocacy ourselves for our constituency and our members, because each and every single city and town, we've got different challenges. You may be aware that not too long ago, we were unfortunately challenged with flooding, and we had to do our own advocacy of calling the president of the country, President Cyril Ramaphosa, to come through and meet with us as the Durban business community following the devastation that we've actually experienced. So in our province, we have unfortunately experienced 4 disasters. The first one is the whole world experienced the disaster of COVID-19. We were very unfortunate last year in July 2021, that we had a civil unrest that did extreme destruction to the businesses here in our city and our province. And following that, this year in April, we had the devastating floods that unfortunately took the lives of more than 450 people and did huge destruction on the infrastructure of our city and our province, as well as huge destruction on some of the businesses and also big major industries in our city. So following the discussion that we had, and then the final one is we also had now another flood a month later that also just made things even worse in terms of the destruction that we're already facing. So following the discussions that we had with President Cyril Ramaphosa, we were very clear that we need first of all, we need to have climate resilient infrastructure because of being a flood prone city, and also certain other infrastructure upgrades, and which we presented to the president. So one of the key things that the president came up with, he was very clear to us to say, look, the government does not have funding to be able to, upgrade some of this infrastructure and also fix some of the infrastructure that you guys have. And of course, as you are aware, as any place, infrastructure is key to make sure that business does go on. So one of the key things that we're really advocating for as the Durban Chamber is to look at and look for any companies that are in the water and sanitary. So the infrastructure that we're talking about, first of all, is the dam infrastructure. So we need companies that can come in and invest. And then secondly, water and sanitation, we need that infrastructure upgraded. And of course, when the companies do come in and invest, they will get the return on investment because we do pay for these services with government. Our government is open to having PPPs with these particular companies, so that we can ensure that our infrastructure is upgraded. So we're really looking out to hopefully some businesses here in Panama that have got those skills that can come and see how they can partner with us to make sure that we build our infrastructure. Another area that the Durban Chamber does as well, Bernadette spoke about the international business. We also have got a division of international business, and we also one of the biggest producers of certificates of origin, also due because we're right next to the port of Durban, which is the biggest port in the country. So over and above the international certificates of origin that we do produce, we also do host quite a lot of inbound delegations, as well as outbound delegations of international visitors. We're also part of the international ICC movement. And we're constantly looking for great relationships with different countries. When we had the discussion with the ambassador last year in June, we said that we're looking for a mutually beneficial relationship for both countries. We have got products that we would like to be exported to Panama, and of course we know that Panama businesses also have got products that they want to be exported to our country. So we're really looking forward to that mutually beneficial relationship. I just want to also just come and focus on, so we've got various different industries that we're strong in. The industry that I spoke about, which is where I said there was serious destruction in that area from the floods. We've got the automotive sector. We've got beverages companies. So it's quite a range of different industries that we have that we're really looking forward to having engagements with and do business to business matchmaking with these different organizations. We also very strong on the agricultural sector, and I'm very, very happy with the presentation that was done by Mr. Jose Miena, because I think there's a lot of collaboration that we can do in terms of working together on agriculture. Here in KwaZulu-Natal, we've got a vast amount of land. We have recently been approached as the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry by the traditional leadership of our province that has vast amount of land, saying they've got a lot of agricultural land, and if there's opportunities, any agricultural opportunities, they really are looking for investment in the land. So one of the key things that we're actually also looking at as well is we're looking at a case study if we can be able to also from this land be able to grow wheat. We saw with the challenges that have taken place with the war on Ukraine and Russia, the challenges that I think the whole world is suffering from wheat. So this is one of the areas that we're actually also looking at, and I'm hoping that the study will come out and be finalized soon so that we can start engaging with investors. So we'd be very keen, some of your wheat producers there with the skills that they have, if they would be willing to, or keen and looking to come and expand here in our area, in our province. But over and above that, of course, the issue of seasonal, vegetables, fruits and vegetables, we're also very, very keen in seeing how we can also engage with Panama with the different fruits and vegetables on a seasonal basis that we can start doing the trading in. Another part that I just want to quickly talk about is our port expansion and logistics. I know I spoke about our infrastructure, our water and sanitation infrastructure, which we're looking for investors to come, but also so is our port. So the Port of Durban has come up with a plan to address the issue of decongestion, which has been a big sore point across the country. There's a new dry port development in Cattle Ridge that has been implemented, and it will go a long way towards addressing congestion at the Port of Durban. There's huge expansion programs that Transnet is looking at, and also calling on private sector or any international companies with access to resources and of course the skills that can come and partner with Transnet, not just on the port, but also on our rail network, which so much needs a lot of investment to be done to it. So as the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, once again, we really appreciate, we are also open for business. And we're looking forward to having more engagements with businesses from Panama. And hopefully we look forward to hosting some delegates from Panama to come here to our beautiful city, and of course experience and see for themselves the different areas that we have of investment. Likewise, of the different industries, as a country, I know that you guys are also looking for investors. It would be great for you guys to just share a little bit more with us in terms of what is it that you're looking for, so that some of our big corporates and medium businesses that are looking for expansion out of the country can be able to engage with yourselves accordingly. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and we really look forward to more fruitful engagements post this engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Palesa, for your wonderful presentation. We are aware that we has passed the time for the event, but we will have the Q&A section. So if you have any question, you feel free to drop it in the Q&A section. Sorry, I had a little inconvenience. Yes, feel free to drop it on the comment section or the Q&A section, and I will be reading the questions to answer it for you, myself or one of our panelists. Yes, so Jessica Willing, can we build a directory of business of products that we offer from both Panama and SA, South Africa, so we can contact according to our needs? So in ProPanama, in the webpage, you can find all the products that we have. I will share the link with you and the closest representative from you of this meeting, so you can see all the export products from Panama, and you can contact the exporters through our agency. I left my contact on the questions and on the chat of the panelists for you to contact me directly, and I can arrange a meeting with everyone that you need to talk to. You can also talk with the embassy. Mr. Jorge Silen has done a wonderful job connecting Panamanians and South Africans companies, and he can also help you with that. I believe all questions has been answered. I would like to thank you all again for participating in the webinar today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly through this channel or through your closest representative of this meeting. And the presentation has been recorded and it will be shared through the Panama Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel, and we will share that through the proper channels as well. Thank you everyone for your time and hope to see you in the future. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, everybody.